Okay, welcome back to part 8 of the video on elementary logic syllabus, a topic given by Mumbai University for the first year BA LLB. In this video, I'm talking about terms, the meaning of terms, what is connotation, what is denotation of terms, the positive and negative terms, and contrary and contradictory terms. Let us understand the meaning of terms, its definition and explanation. In logic, terms are fundamental components of a proposition. So terms are fundamental components of a proposition. Now all of these topics are gradually building up to understand the square of opposition, the opposition of proposition, the additions, and all those other advanced topics of logic. So it is very important that we understand these starting foundational concepts in logic. So terms are fundamental components of a proposition. So they are a part of proposition. A term, what does it refer to? So a term refers to individual objects, either an individual object, a group, or a concept. It could be anything. It is the subject or predicate of a proposition and is essential for logical reasoning and argumentation. Now, what is subject? What is predicate? So, I can give you with a very short example. Let us say A is a father. We have taken this example many times before. A is a father. So A is the subject, is the copula, C-O-P-U-L-A, copula. A father is a predicate. Birds can fly. So bird is a subject, can fly or fly is a predicate. So predicate and the subject and the copula, they are part of a proposition. So what is a term in this case? A term is an individual object like A, or a group like father is a group of men or group of married people having children are known as father. It's a class. Or a concept. Concept could be beautiful. Beautiful could be a concept. Or beauty could be a concept. It is the subject or predicate of a proposition. A term could either be a subject or a predicate of a proposition. This is a proposition. A statement having true or a false value. A is a father, yes or no, true or false. Yes, he is or he is not. So, and so basically a term is either a subject or a predicate. It could be representing an individual object like A, or a class like father, or a concept like beautiful. And it is essential for logical reasoning and argumentation. So I hope you have understood the definition of term. Let's move on further to the meaning of terms, connotation and denotation of terms. What does connotation mean and denotation mean? We'll start with the denotation first. Denotation means extension. It refers to the actual objects or instances that term applies to. Actual object or instances that the term applies to. We'll look at the examples little later on. Whereas the connotation applies to the attributes or the qualities. So we can say connotation is a father. Denotation is father, and connotation means the qualities of a father: loving, caring, and so on, providing for the children, and so on, married, adult, and so on. So it refers to the attributes, the qualities, or the characteristics implied by a term. Now, another example of denotation would be, say, a dog. Dog is an actual object or a thing or an instance or an entity or a term. So it's a denotation. What is the connotation or connotation of dog? Dog is loyal. Dog has four legs, and barks. So these are all its qualities or its characteristics or its attributes. It's an animal, and so on. So denotation is the external meaning or the set of things the term represents. Example: the denotation of a doctor, like I said, father in this case. So denotation of doctor includes all individuals who are doctors. Connotation, on the other hand, means the internal meaning or the essence of the term. So in this case, the connotation of a doctor includes the qualities, or like he is a trained professional, he is a licensed, he is a medical professional, and so on. Saves lives, and so on. So I hope the connotation and denotation is clear. Denotation refers to the actual object, whereas connotation refers to that object's qualities and attributes or characteristics. Let's look at the key differences. Connotation is about the meaning or the attribute of the term, while denotation is about the scope or range of thing the term applies to, like father, doctor, dogs, and so on. Now let's look at the positive and negative terms. What are positive and negative? Positive terms expresses a presence, affirms, that is, it affirms the presence or possession of a quality, like happy, brave, tall. Whereas negative terms indicate the absence. So here there's a presence, affirmative, positive, whereas absence means negative, or negation of a quality. Not happy, that is unhappy. Or not brave, that is cowardly. Not tall, that is short. So these are all negative terms. Now let's look at contrary and contradictory term. This is the very important term. It's best that you understand now, because as we move forward we are going to use all of these three: the positive, the negative term, the positive negative terms, the connotation and denotation. All of that will be utilized as we move forward. So these terms are very important. You would ask me, why do we need to learn all of these? These are very crucial for us as to be advocates, or as to be lawyers who will be doing arguments or drafting agreements, presenting our client's case in front of a judge or in a court. And therefore it becomes very important that we know the logic that goes into argumentation. So what are contrary and contradictory terms? So contrary terms represents extreme opposites. Very important to understand. It represents extreme opposites, whereas contradictory terms represents exact opposites. Means there is no middle ground. Here there at least exists some intermediate state. So when we say hot and cold, they are known as contrary terms, because something could be warm in between state. So in contrary, there are possibilities of more states being present, whereas in contradictory terms there is no other state except for those things. It either a thing is alive or it is dead. It cannot be anything else in between. Living being and non-living being, white and black. So there is nothing in between. So let's recap the contrary terms. It represents extreme opposites, but others intermediate states can coexist. Example, hot and cold are contrary terms, as something can be warm, intermediate state. Contradictory term represents exact opposites with no middle ground. Contradictory, exact opposite. Contrary means extreme opposites but with intermediate states possible. Now let's do some illustrations for clarity on connotation, denotation, positive, negative terms, and contrary and contradictory terms. The term student, what does denotation means? Denotation means all individuals enrolled in education institutions. All individuals who are studying are students. Connotation includes a person who is learning or studying of a certain age, maybe. Or, for example, in law, there is no age in which you can join a college or a class to learn law. So, that would not apply to law as such. But students are basically everybody who is, say, have at least done their basic education up till 10th or maybe 8 plus 2 or something like that, or studying basically. And we have taken other examples also, like dog would mean all dogs, all types of all breeds of dogs. It represents all dogs, whereas the quality of a dog is, or the characteristics is, that it is loyal, it barks, and so on. Positive and negative terms. Positive means honest, bright, strong. Negative is exact opposite of that, dishonest, dim, weak. Contrary and contradictory terms. Contrary are rich and poor. They There could be some middle ground available in contrary, but in contradictory, one is either present or one is absent. One cannot be both simultaneously. Relevance in law and logic. So, for example, one can say, you can ask me why rich and poor are not contradictory. So there one could be like middle income group or low income group. Somebody could be less rich, more rich, but one cannot be less present or more absent, something like that. I hope you have understood between the contrary and contradictory. Relevant in logic and law. Connotation and denotation. Understanding the connotation of legal terms ensures clarity in argumentation. Example, reasonable doubt. So in contrary terms, in connotation, we have reasonable doubts. Denotation identifies specific instances or cases to which the term applies. Positive and negative terms. Legal language often distinguishes between presence, that is innocent, example, and absence, that is not guilty of qualities. Third, contrary and contradictory terms. In law, contradictory terms are crucial for binary decisions. Example, guilty versus not guilty. Whereas contrary terms helps in nuanced arguments, that is lawful versus unlawful behavior. There could be some intermediate grounds or options available in between in contrary terms. Let's look at some of the question answers. Define connotation and denotation of terms with examples. Answer. Connotation refers to the qualities implied by a term. Doctor implies licensed medical professional. So this is connotation for a doctor. While denotation refers to the actual objects the term applies to. That is all doctors. What are positive and negative terms? Positive terms expresses the presence of a quality. But the important part is positive, there is a presence, it's positive. Whereas the negative term, there is absence of a quality, that is absence of braveness. Third, explain contrary and contradictory terms with examples. Contrary terms represents extreme opposites but coexist in intermediate states, but can also exist in intermediate states, that is rich and poor, while contradictory terms represents exact opposites with no middle ground, that is either alive or dead. Why is the distinction between connotation and denotation important in law? Connotation ensures clarity of legal concepts. Example, reasonable. What is reasonable? It's an idea, it's a concept, that is connotation, while denotation specifies the scope of application, that is the specific individuals affected. Now let us look at few of the MCQs. What is connotation refers to? The set of objects a term applies to. The quality is implied by a term, yes. The intermediate state of a term, no. The logical contradiction of a term, no. So the quality is implied by a term is connotation. The quality is implied by a term. Connotation refers to quality is implied by a term, correct. Sorry, I got confused there for a minute. Which of the following is an example of a positive term? Positive term would be strong. Unhealthy means absence of healthiness. Dishonest means absence of dishonesty. So these are negative terms, dishonest and unhealthy. Whereas strong is a positive term and these are negative terms. What is contradictory term? Contradictory term, do they have an intermediate state? Contradictory? No. So this is contrary. So R-A-R-Y, I'll write contrary. Cannot be true at the same time. No. Are extreme opposites contradictory? Yes. This is contradictory. So C. Oh, right. Sorry. My bad. Cannot be true at the same time. They are extreme opposites. Contradictory terms. Contradictory terms cannot be true at the same time. Yes, this could be also an answer. But why could it not be an extreme opposites? So let's look at the actual contradictory term. What is contradictory? So in contradictory, contrary terms represents extreme opposites. Oh, okay. So we got this wrong. Contrary terms represents extreme opposites, while contradictory term represents exact opposites. So the important point is extreme opposites and exact opposites. Extreme opposites is also contrary, not contradictory. Whereas only cannot be true at the same time. Correct. Exact opposites. What is the denotation of the term judge? So judge is, what is the denotation of the term judge? Okay, so basically it relates to all individuals serving as judge. Qualities like fairness, impartiality, these are the connotations. The process of judgment is a connotation. Correct. The answer is correct. Next, connotation refers to the dash of a term. Connotation refers to the ideas, the characteristics, the qualities or attributes of a term. Denotation refers to the class or a group a term applies to. Let's see what's the answer. To the actual objects or instances a term applies to. So when we are learning this, we will also be able to use this in the exams in the sense of like 2-mark question or definitions or write a short note on. So we can use examples, we can use this fill in the blanks to fill up the answers for our questions. I hope these series is helping you all, as I am also preparing for my first year BE LLB. So best of luck to all of you. So denotation refers to the dash a term applies to. It refers to the actual objects or instances, whereas connotation refers to the qualities or the attributes. Terms like brave and strong are of course, these are positive terms. Terms like unhappy, dishonest are examples of negative terms. The dash term refers to extreme opposites. So this is contrary. We just learned this, extreme and exact opposites with no middle ground. Oh, dash terms represent extreme opposites with no middle ground. So in no middle ground, this should be contradictory. Yes, because I mistook this for having middle ground. So this is with no middle ground. So this could be exact opposites with no middle ground. The dash of student indicates denotation, includes all individuals enrolled in education institution. The denotation of student. The contradictory terms can be true. Contradictory terms cannot both be true simultaneously or at the same time. Correct. Contrary terms can coexist in an dash state, intermediate states. I think that ends the topic. I'm sure this must have helped you. Thank you very much for patiently listening to this entire topic from first year applicable to first year BA LLB students from Mumbai University. If this helped you, do consider sharing. Thank you very much. Best of luck. Bye.